Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. I'm Dee Slater, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to launch into the Holiday Mini Catalog. It's officially called the September through December 2025 catalog from Stampin' Up! I've got a fun project for us today, a card. It's a flip front card, and we'll be going over the traditional Christmas suite of products. To create this, and I'll kind of share with you some of the tips about the stamp sets, etc., that I found when I've played with it just a little bit. As always, when you're coming on, if you'd like to say hi and where you're watching from, I'm here from Northeast Indiana, a little bit north of Fort Wayne, Indiana, in a town called Kendallville. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel here. And if you would, please help my channel grow by liking and commenting on this video. Just let me know the feedback that you might have on it. Okay, so today, like I said, we are going to be looking at some of the new products in the new mini catalog from Stampin' Up! Let me just go ahead and focus on that here for just a second. So if you're not already working with the demonstrator and you would like a catalog of your own, please drop me a message and, I'll work with you to get a catalog in your own hands. Lots of fun things in here for this year. I'm really for me and my taste, Stampin' Up! Knocked it out of the park on it. Don't know what to create first. I've already got several classes going. If you're on my newsletter, this week you would have gotten where I launched 3 classes, and I'll be giving other announcements on that. So if you haven't already subscribed to my newsletter, you can check out the links below and do that. But we are going to be looking at Traditions of Christmas today. It's one of what I like to call a mega suite that they have. And what makes it mega is that there are 2 stamp set and die bundles. So 2 bundles that work together with it. And I do want to kind of show what we're going to be using today stamp-wise just a little bit. But a little tip when you're looking through the catalog, and you can always go to stampinup.com and go all the way down to the bottom, and they have like copies of their digital catalog, so you can always pull it up on your computer or your device too. But if you look here where it's got it grayed, those are the sentiments that are specifically designed to go with the images here. So here's this oval one. It's meant to go north-south and use it for the Just For You. Now, of course, you can use it with anything else and do it, but they just kind of show what it was intended to use with or where to start with. And so that's always a starting point for that. And then I just absolutely love the designer paper. Let me show you it a little bit more in person. It's a specialty designer paper because it's got gold foil accents in it. Hi, thanks for watching, Florida. Really appreciate it. Let me go ahead and see if I can get this light to shine on this paper. Look at this yumminess. Yay. So two of the papers, you can actually use the coordinating dies to cut out this winter bouquet. So pretty. We're going to be using another one that we can use for die cut. Again, you can see why this is traditional. We've got plaids, we've got poinsettias, we've got gold accents, just etc. Just a really gorgeous paper. Look at that. This is what we're going to be using here today. All of these can be die cut too, or fussy cut. Fussy cut just means you're going to use your scissors to cut out the images. All right. All right, let me turn the camera around and we'll get started making today's project. And again, I'll give you some tips along the way. Well, I guess I've already got the camera turned around. All right, so this is a fun fold that's, what do I want to say? It's so easy and it looks a little different than what, we might be used to on it, but it just flips up. So cute. I'll show you some tips on the stamps. It's one of the coordinating stamps. I decided that to showcase this one, I'm going to let the paper do a lot of the talking. This one you could, if you want to, it's got a coordinating stamp set that you could stamp and color if you'd like, but I went ahead and used and kind of, you know, the purpose of the paper that you can use it for die cutting, and it matches the die cutting. So absolutely. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that one put together for us. And let me get the instructions up here. So I'm so happy that everybody's loving the instructions right off the bat, the measurements. So if you're watching the replay or whatever, you can take, or when you do watch the replay, if you're watching it live, you can take a screenshot from this. If you're on, again, my newsletter, I'm going to be sending out a recipe card later on today. So if you're on my newsletter, you don't have to worry about maybe copying it down because you'll be getting the recipe that you can have. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and we'll get that. And we'll get back over here. Okay. All right. So I think this is just called a flip front fun fold. Super easy to put together, but it looks like it could be complicated, but it's not. Don't you love that? All right. So look, this is all that we need. This is it. Hardly anything to put this together. So we're going to have just like a card base that's not a whole card base. It's just like the anchor that we're going to have. And this is Old Olive in this case, and it's 5.5 by 5 1/4. And then we've got 2 strips of our designer paper. I just happened to use the back side of the design that I decided to use on that. So we need 2 strips of 5.5 by 1. That's going to go down here. And then basically our card base is a piece of basic white that's 11 by 3. And we're going to score it at 5.5. And then we're going to cover the front of that with a piece of our gorgeous designer paper. This is so pretty. Like on this one, the poinsettias are a pink tone. And so I wanted to really pull that pink tone out. And this is our 5.5 by 3. So it's going to fit exactly here on the card front. All right, let's go ahead and put that down. I'm going to go ahead and get a crisp edge. All right, so let's just go ahead and cover that first using liquid glue. So again, this is the designer paper's cut to 5.5 by 3. And if I cut everything the way I was supposed to, this should match exactly on the front. And if not, you could always go back and trim that. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for just a little bit. Now here's let me bring the card in. Like you can see that there's a little bit, excuse me, of a matting here. But when we open this up, this is so not 1 inch. But what helps us with the 1 inch is that, you know, you have a little wiggle room on that. So, you know, leave kind of, you know, about 1/8 of an inch or so on the sides. It really doesn't matter. I almost hate to put glue on the fancy side. Whoops. Clicked my mouse. Hang on just a second. So, you know, just kind of get it over to the edge. And whatever size, or, you know, however you put this on here, the margins, just do the same thing on the other side. You can measure it if you want, but I'm just eyeballing it. And so with liquid glue, that will give you a little bit of a play before it sets so that you can move it if you wanted to. Just eyeball it. If you wanted to, you could, you know, officially measure it, but I don't live in that world with these type of folds. Okay, so we've got our strips down. That's going to give us this look right here. And now we can go ahead and put the card base on. Why don't I do some stamping? Well, let's just live dangerously. Normally I would do stamping first. I'm living dangerously though, because I'm like, let's just put this together. So on the back side of your 11 by 3, we're going to put that down and just center it. Again, just eyeball it. And you can see here that I'm off just a little bit. I'm going to come back with my trimmer afterwards and just trim that. It's no big deal. Okay. And that's it. Have fun. Make what you want with that, right? It's so easy. So super easy. Let's go ahead and decorate it with the Traditions of Christmas products on it. Okay, so ahead of time, what I did with the traditional labels. So here's the, oh my gosh, you guys, if you're looking, Stampers, if you're looking for a set of holidays sentiments that can freshen up what you have, this may be what you're looking for. It's all sorts of sentiments all in one place. And then the labels are so good as well. And so even if you're just wanting to freshen up your labels, you could always just get the dies. So, but together, that's the traditional labels bundle here. And so out of one of those labels, out of Secret C, I've die cut one of the labels. When this one die cuts, you can see that it actually leaves like a little edge here. And you can either take that off or leave it on. So if you wanted to, you could do contrasting, but I'm just going to leave that on. So I've got one of those. And then also I used the banner label, and we're going to do our stamping on that. So like I had shown you on the catalog, like the Season's Greetings is the one that they show that would match this, but I'm actually going to use Sending Love and Joy on it as well. All right, so in full disclosure, this paper, some of the color combinations, it says it uses Real Red and Cherry Cobbler. And it's so like, it's almost like red cobbler. You want to put the two of them together because some of it's Real Red and then the accents are Cherry Cobbler, and then it's kind of vice versa. So sometimes Cherry Cobbler looks too dark. Sometimes Real Red looks too light with the stamping, and I think I'm overthinking it. So I'm going with Cherry Cobbler here today. I'm matching the designer paper on that. But you could so do Real Red if you wanted to as well, because both of those colors are in the paper. All right, so I'm using that Sending Love and Joy. I'll get that inked up with Cherry Cobbler. And let's see, I don't know that it matters. I think they're both the same. But I'm going to get my head right over here so I can see. Sending Love and Joy. Awesome. Okay, and then ahead of time, this is one of the dies that comes with the Christmas greenery. These are the stamped images that coordinate with the paper on it. And this die right here will not only die cut out the stamped image, but it also die cuts out the image from the paper. I kind of alluded to that when we first got started. So there's this sheet here, and I just kind of fussy cut around the image that I wanted to before I went into the die cut machine. And then you just can take that over to your die cut machine and cut those out. So they have some that are the red and Cherry Cobbler and some that are in the white and pink tone on it. But these little flowers here are great accents. So I haven't done it yet, but you can so fussy cut. There's not a die that cuts that one out, but you know, have fun with that. I think though that there is like this shape here for the flower will work with some of these. It's not going to get your greenery, but it will definitely get the flower. But I wanted to show you that. So ahead of time, that's what I did. So on my sample here, I have the red one. We're going to play with the pink poinsettia on this one. I grew up saying poinsettia. I know it's poinsettia. So if I go back and forth on that, I don't know. It's just how we grew up, calling it a poinsettia. Is that how do you guys say it? Poinsettia? Do you put the edia in it? It's probably just the region here. Okay, so let's get some dimensionals. And I'm just going to pop up both the floral spray image as well as our label. There's that secret seaside. You know, that would be pretty on that as well. So you can mix and match, you know, which of the paper patterns that you'd like. This is actually what we're going to be making tonight at my team meeting, the beautiful stampers. Normally I like them to see it first, but with getting ready for a holiday open house and all of my classes and everything, I wanted to show you guys this too. So I'm showing it to you guys, but then my team will get to make it. And my team makes it whether they're near or far, whether they can come in person or not. And everybody gets a kit. Okay, let's put some dimensionals on our Sending Joy to. Oops. Let's see here. I kind of go back and forth on whether to put the sentiment down first, but going up maybe about 2 inches on that. And let's do the same thing, like kind of proportionate here too. So put 4 dimensionals on this label. I love a good label. And that traditional labels, like I said, if you've got stamping stuff in your stash, you know, that's just a good one maybe to consider adding on. See, I think I have the white flowers going up. Just that simple to do the card front. Oh my gosh, who wouldn't love to give and receive that card? All right, let's do the inside. So I've got Merry Christmas on the inside. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy you like it. I'm just going to call you B. That's what your initial is on there. Thank you, B, for saying so. So these are, the sentiment is from Traditional Labels. And then here's some of the images from the Christmas Tradition stamp set. So on the Traditional Labels, Merry and Christmas are separate stamps. That way you can mix and match it a little bit. I put them both on the block at the same time so I can stamp it at the same time. So you could stamp those individually. I just put them on the block to stamp at the same time. I've got these like fun sleeves, but they're kind of flappy for stamping. It's supposed to be a little cooler here. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to get on some of my different clothes. I feel like I have about 4 summer tops that I wear all the time. And I was ready for a change of pace. It might be a little too early for that though. Just gonna make sure I got it nice and covered. And stamp up my Merry Christmas up here. Give it a little press. Merry Christmas. Well, thank you. I know it's just September. I had the cutest saying that I heard. They said, welcome to the Burr months. So we've entered September, October, November, and December. So once it's the Burr months, I'm ready to start working ahead on holiday cards. How about you guys? Okay, so I have the poinsettia image from the stamp set. And let me get my scrap paper here. And because I'm going to put what I want to say, I'm going to put the little berries on top of it. I'm going to take the first stamp color off of it and kind of do, you know, just that. I'm going to take the first stamp off of it, or stamped image. So I'm going to stamp, don't re-ink, and I'm going to stamp again. And again, the only reason is I'm going to put cherry cobbler little berries on top of this, and I want them to be seen. So it's just kind of a small little step down on it. And then they've got so many fun little flower fillers. I just love it. So I've got to use the cherry cobbler again, and I'll put the 3 little berries right in the center. All right. I also wanted to show you that here's like the little floral image, one of the flower images. There's 2 besides the poinsettia. And I thought I would show you a little tip on this, because when I thought, if you notice that there's this little break here, let me bring this up. Can you see how Stampin' Up! Left this little spot here for us to intentionally be able to stamp the flower? And so that's what I did here. That way you're not stamping like too much over each other and you get that little blended look on it. But I got studying the image here. And if you look real closely where that little V is, there's a little space so that there's a little daylight in there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to try that with this one. I'm going to leave a little daylight. So this V part right here, I'm not going to stamp on, because before I try to get real close to it because it never aligned up. Well, now I know why. So I'm using Pretty in Pink, and I'll get that inked up. So this is the first time I tried this, and so I might have to turn this around just a little bit to see. Okay, that looks good. All right, so I'm going to get over here, and I'm going to leave that daylight and get my head right over the camera. Try to line that up as best I can on camera and stamp. So here you can see that there's a little bit that was left here, but so now you don't have to mask. I thought that was brilliant. So they saved us from masking so that we can get that overlapping look. I love it. Thank you, Stampin' Up! It's kind of something new that I've never noticed in one of their stamp sets before. All right, so it has some, oops, what do I have here? Okay, so they've got, let me, before I close that up, there's another little flower center. I think there's 3 of them in there. And I'm just going to go tone on tone. So I got my cherry cobbler again. That's such a good flower. That's an all year round flower. All right, so it's got this little fern leaf, and I'm using Old Olive so it matches back to our card base. And let's see, I'm going to look at my sample to see where I put it. Okay, so you can just kind of come in here, and it's amazing how the like this little fern leaf just makes the stamping on it. It kind of ties all of the flower component and the designer paper together and just adds that little extra touch. Just now thought of this. Let's go ahead and add some Wink of Stella. Add a little glitter, a little shimmer for the inside of it as well. Ooh, I might have to come back and do that with the other one. Yep. So that kind of, by using the Wink of Stella, it is a paintbrush. It will make it wet. It actually makes the poinsettia looks really good. Ooh, that's the way to do it, everybody. So stampers, grab your Wink of Stella, and it kind of darkens that up. Because again, we stamped off so that we could get the little berry colors, but then using the Wink of Stella, it makes it darker. Love it. And let's get our little branches too. Okay, got one more thing to show you here today, and that is the gems that are part of this suite of products. Let's see here. Just need to find them. Can't be too far off. I had them right here. Maybe it slipped down when I, oh, there they are. Fell on the floor. Okay, I would be surprised if these don't go super popular and maybe even on back order first, unless Stampin' Up! Got tons and tons of them to have on hand, because they are so good. Everything that you want in traditional colors here. We've got our blues, our reds, our greens, and our golds, and they're flat sequins. So of course they're not going to add bulk to our mailings. So let's add a little bling to the front of our card. And I thought I would bring in the green. So kind of bring one over here, off a little bit on my joy, but that's okay. And there. And then, you know how it's like, it's kind of fun to put something on the inside too if you want. Let's bring the gold in. Might as well use them upright. Let's see, kind of just scatter that around. And one more. Oh my gosh, I love it. So pretty. So then that's the inside. All right, so I love a quick fun fold. And so if somebody gets this, this looks like it could be really complicated. It's so not, right? That you saw it was like 3 pieces of, well, a little more than 3, but you know, it hardly took any paper, and the measurements are easy. I love it. I love it, love it. I have this little strip left over, and I thought, you know, let's make sure that we decorate our envelope too. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this down on the left side of the front of my envelope. And as you can see there, I didn't pre-cut it because I'll just cut it down to size. Get that squished in just a little bit. There we go. Then you can take your snips, your scissors, about poked myself, and cut. Now, when you go to send your card, what a wow card. So pretty. What do you guys think? Do you think you'll give it a try? Let me know in the comments. All right, let me turn the camera around. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this fun fold. Again, I love discovering easy fun folds, and better yet, sharing them with all of my crafting friends out there in the YouTube world and on my newsletter and everything. So I do appreciate you watching. And again, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'd like to leave a comment on this video, that would be terrific. All right, everybody, have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.